Welcome everybody, namaste. This is day 10 of your 30-day Feel Better Yoga Challenge. Today we're going to be focusing on a myofascial release. And this is a great technique to release any tension that you might be feeling in your joints, your muscles, your fascia. And we'll be using some balls. This could either be tennis balls. I've got these tune-up fitness balls that I really enjoy the size of them, and they come in this little sack. So if you were to keep them together in the sack, you could actually use them to go up and down your spine, which I'll show in another video. Today we're going to be really just using one. If you don't have a myofascial release ball handy at home, you can also just use a tennis ball. I'm sure you'll still feel lots of good release in your muscles. And if you happen to have a foam roller, you can use the foam roller today too. I'll give some options for both. But we're going to get started on our lower half of the body today. So let's start with our calf muscles. So you'll take your ball, you'll sit into a straight-legged position, and you'll take the ball underneath your right calf. So it looks kind of like this. Find that meaty part of your calf, and if you have a hard time finding it, you'll take your thumbs to your shins and wrap your fingers around. And we're going to want the ball right where your fingers meet at the back of your calf. So place the ball there, and then you'll lean back into your hands, lift your heel off the ground, just start rolling right and left the calf muscle onto that ball. See how that feels. If it's already really intense, then just stay with what you have going on there. If you feel like it's intense, but I want a little bit more extra sensation, you could try crossing your left ankle over your shin, and then again, rolling side to side. Doesn't seem like that would add a lot, but whew, I'm really feeling that today. Calves can be so tight, but it's a really important and overlooked muscle as our ability to move, to run, to walk. Our calves do it all, and they're very important for circulation as well. Go nice and slow, side to side. If you find a spot and you're able to just pause on it, maybe take a breath, let that weight of your leg push any tension out of your calf. And then we'll go for one more spot before we move on to our second calf. So you can either go a little higher towards your knee, or you can go towards your ankle and lean back into the hands. Maybe cross your ankle again on top of that right knee and give that little rock left and right. Yeah, myofascial is really easy to want to just roll really fast when you're tight and it's feeling a bit painful, but try to go slow. That's where we're really going to start to get some deep release in those tight muscles. Again, if you find a spot that's really tight, maybe just pause on it and take a deep breath. Very good. Let's go to that other calf now. Take your ball, place it underneath your left calf. Again, if you have a hard time figuring out where exactly the spot, you'll take your thumbs together at the shin, wrap your fingers around right in that meaty part of the muscle, place your ball, lean back into your hands, and lift your left heel up. Start that gentle rock side to side. It's not too uncommon to find that one side is tighter than the other. I kind of blame it on my manual transmission in my car. All the movement of my left foot to push down the clutch all the time. Maybe that's totally crazy to think. I don't know. Again, if you want that more intensity, cross your right ankle on top. Use it as a little extra press down. Ooh, I'm tight on this side. Side to side, nice and slow. Breathe through it. Now let's find one more spot. Again, if it felt good to take it a little higher up towards the knee, move the ball up. If you want to go towards the ankle, go down. Again, lean back into the hands, couple deep breaths. Once more, rocking side to side. Very good. Deep breath. Perfect. Now remove that ball, straighten out your legs. Just give your knees a little bounce, your ankles a roll in some circles. And now draw your right leg in, take your foot to the inner thigh, and you'll place the ball again right onto your calf muscle with your right hand pushing it down. Now take your left hand on top of your right hand, thread your fingers, just start to draw some little circles into the calf muscle. So now we're more on the inner side of the calf. We want to stay away from the bone that's towards the front of the shin, so make sure you stay on that meaty part. Press down as much as you feel like you need the release. Drawing little circles up towards the knee and then down towards the ankle. Very good. And for about 3 more breaths. Very good. And then let's release that and do the other leg. Draw the left leg in, take your ball on top of your left calf, left hand on top of the ball, right hand on top of the left hand. Clasp your hand with your right fingers and start those little circles. Rolling around. And go up towards the knee crease, down towards the ankle, staying away from that shin bone that's on the top. Getting into that meaty part of the muscle. All that blood flow. Myofascial release is so good for getting blood flow into certain parts of your body, which stimulates healing. So if you have any injuries going on around your ankles, your knees, all of this would be a great video to come back to over and over again. If you're a runner, a biker, or some sort of athlete, these techniques are really what make your exercise even stronger. Recovery is where the magic happens. That's what my trainer always says. All right, let's release that. Now we're gonna get into the hamstring. So we're gonna continue up the back of the thighs. This is where you might choose to use your foam roller. So I'm gonna show 2 different variations. The first variation I'll show is with the foam roller. So we'll again start with the right leg. You'll take the foam roller right underneath your right knee and then lean back into your hands. Now my foam roller is on the shorter side, but if you have the long foam roller, you can move it off to the side so you have space for your left foot to be flat. And then you'll lift your hips up and roll up to the sit bone and back down towards the back of the knee. You'll just go forward and back a few times. Now, if you don't have a foam roller, you could take that same tennis ball to get underneath your thigh and you'll do the same thing. Lift your sit bones, roll forward and back. I find that the tennis ball is actually not quite as intense as the foam roller, but if you feel like you have the tennis ball only and you would like that intensity, you can keep your sit bones down and just lift the heel and go side to side, just like we did with the calf stretch, but instead with the ball. Rolling up and down, side to side. And every muscle has a direction that the fibers are heading. So in our hamstrings, our muscle fibers are mostly vertical, meaning they're going this direction from your sit bones down to your knees. So when we're going this way, you're moving along the same direction as the muscle fibers. With the ball underneath and going left and right, you're doing what's called cross-threading. You're going against the grain of the muscles. Take 2 more breaths, whichever you decide feels best in your body. And if you have both tools, use both. Maybe even pause the video for a little bit. Take a few more breaths here before you get to the other side. Let's go ahead and transfer that now to the left leg, moving either your foam roller or your tennis ball to the other side. Lift your heel up, lift your hips up, roll forward and back. If you're on the tennis ball, you could either do the same thing, or you can place the ball underneath, keep your hips down, and cross thread left and right. And I don't know about you, but when I'm doing these deep release techniques, my jaw clenches, my shoulders get tight. So make sure you're keeping everything else nice and loose. This is supposed to be a recovery day. We're supposed to be feeling relaxed after this. But sometimes tension spreads. We release it from our legs and it moves right up to our shoulders. So try to keep your shoulders relaxed. Very good. One more deep breath. Very nice. And then sit your hips down if they're up. Move your props out of the way and just take a forward fold for a moment. Reach for your toes. Feel that length through the back of your legs. A deep breath in through your nose. And then take a sigh out the mouth. And let's do one more like that. Breathe in through your nose. And this time, flutter your lips like horse lips. And then slowly roll your way back up. And now we'll get into the IT band. So this one, with the foam roller, again, I'll show two different options, one with the ball and one with the foam roller. You'll come up onto your knees, and then you'll sit. We'll start with the left hip up on the foam roller. Place your left hand down, and then straighten your right and your left leg back. We'll cross the right foot over. So now you're leaning into the left hand, right hand onto your hip, and press into the outer edge of the left foot a little bit, and then press into your right foot to roll up and down. Whew. This one is really tight for me. My IT band has always been one of the tightest spots in my body. So try to breathe through it, moving from your hip to right up the knee. So again, we're not rolling over any bones. If you do not have a foam roller, same thing. You'll place the tennis ball there and roll on the tennis ball. Ooh, the tennis ball almost feels more intense. I'm gonna stick with the foam roller today. Up and down. Take one more breath on this left leg. Very nice. And then let's drop your knees down and move that onto the other side. And we'll take the right hip, sit it up onto your foam roller and lean over into your right hand. Straighten out your right leg and cross the left foot over to the front. Take your left hand to your hip and then start those rolls. Woo! One side might be way tighter than the other. I, however, am equally tight on both sides. Roll up and down. Again, we're not rolling up to the bone of your hip or the bones in your knee. We're staying kind of on that more meatier lateral side of your thigh. Make sure you're breathing. Probably do this on the elbow too. If your wrist is starting to get intense, take this down to your forearm. Very nice. One more breath. Very nice. And then bring your hands, your knees down. We've got two more exercises for us here today. First will be the quadriceps, and then we're going to get into our outer hips as our grand finale. So the quadriceps you can do together or one at a time. If your foam roller is longer, it might be a little bit easier, but I'm going to do both together. So you'll take the foam roller towards your knees, walk down onto your forearms, kind of bracing that foam roller there in this little supported forearm plank. Lift your toes off the ground and then start to roll up towards the knees and then down towards your pelvis. Or I guess I should say up towards your pelvis and down towards your knees, but you get the idea. Up and down. Phew. And I know as I do this, I feel personally my tension is spreading to my toes and my feet. Just try to relax everything else. Move slow, up and down. Using that foam roller to press out those tight quadricep muscles. Keep going if you're on the foam roller. If you do not have a foam roller at home, what you can do with the tennis ball is come back to seated, just like we did with the calf. Take one hand onto the ball, the other hand on top of that hand, and draw those circles with your tennis ball on your quadriceps. And sometimes I prefer this as a way to actually release more of the outer part and get into the inner part of the thighs. But I also really enjoy the 2-for-1 aspect of rolling out both my quadriceps at the same time. So I have 2 little kids at home, so efficiency is always key for me when I'm getting these self-care practices in. One more breath with whichever version you've chosen. And then if you're on the foam roller with me, drop your knees down, press back up onto your hands, and we'll come to our final myofascial release today. And I've been saving this one because it's one of my most favorites to get into the piriformis, which is one of our main culprits of low back pain. So for this one, you can sit up onto your foam roller with your feet in front of you. Again, lean back into your hands and then cross your left ankle on top of your right knee and then roll over onto your left hip and then start that rolling process up and down. You want to stay on that meaty part of your glute. We're not trying to get onto the sacrum or the bone, the sit bones. Just trying to stay on that really meaty part of the glute. Now, if you don't have a foam roller at home, you can either hold the ankle and roll around on it on the floor. If you're feeling brave, tuck the tennis ball under there and try that. But whew, I'm gonna stick with the foam roller. That tennis ball is way too intense for my needs today. Just rolling out. Tight piriformis. Now this can get tight from sitting too. So even just being seated all day, this piriformis can really start to even mimic some sciatica pain. It's called piriformis syndrome. One more deep breath on this side. And then let's place your feet down. And we'll take this to the other side. So either crossing right ankle over, rocking onto the right glute muscle and rolling up and down. And if you want to try the seated variation or you don't have a foam roller, you'll hold the left hand on your right heel and roll around on the floor. I promise either way, you are going to feel that piriformis release and stretch. So find that movement, whichever you choose, opening up through that right glute muscle. Very nice. All right, let's take one more deep breath. I could do this all day. And then step your feet down. We'll come off your foam roller or off of your tennis ball. And that's our practice for today. I hope that this practice left you feeling really awake, loose, and energized in your lower half of your body. Make sure you save this video so you can return to it over and over. If you felt really tight, practicing this at least once a week is really going to help with any chronic pain you're feeling, any injuries that you might be experiencing. Make sure you go and you like and subscribe to our channel. Check out our previous videos if this is your first time joining our challenge or my channel. Thank you so much for joining. We put a ton of love and thought into each video, and I so appreciate if you can comment below and let me know, how did this practice make you feel and what do you want to see more of on your mat? Thank you and namaste.